Today we're going to recreate the Pieminister's Wild Shroom Pie. This is one of the meals that we enjoyed when we were in Cardiff, Wales. They had a great selection of all kinds of pies for everybody. We chose those that kind of suited our mostly vegetarian palate. We're going to make this today, and it's something that you could make at home, the kind of meal that you otherwise could enjoy if you travel to Cardiff, Wales. So we're recreating the Wild Shroom Pie that we experienced at Cardiff's Pieminister restaurant. That is a turkey, lady.
It's turkey day.
I'm making pie. Mushroom shroom pie. So the first thing that we're going to do is make our crust. So for the crust, it's really simple. I've got in this bowl 240 grams of all-purpose flour. I've got a stick of butter that's been cut into pieces, and with my pastry cutter, we're gonna make it kind of fine, like a breadcrumby type of mixture in here. The butter is gonna be chilled, so you're gonna wanna have the butter cold. A pinch of salt, and then 2.5 tablespoons of cold water. And here's a tip for the cold water. We've got a measuring cup, we've got some ice in it, so that's gonna chill the water, so we're gonna get our water out of here. And then the water, we're gonna just make sure that we've got enough in here to make a pliable dough. We're gonna knead it for about 30 seconds, and then cover it with saran wrap and chill it for about 30 minutes, and then we're gonna use it to make our pies. We added about another teaspoon of water just to get a consistency that looked good for us. So right now our dough looks like so. And we're gonna turn this into a bowl, put it in saran wrap, and then that'll go in the refrigerator, yeah, you think?
Yeah, for half an hour.
For half an hour. All right, so we have our ball of dough. While this goes in the fridge, we're gonna start working on the filling. Okay, we've got multiple things that are going on in the kitchen today. So while Julie's doing stuffing and turkey and other odds and ends like that, I'm working on this pie. I've got the ingredients assembled here, so we're gonna run through these really quickly. We're gonna be using 2 tablespoons of oil. I have an onion chopped, 2 cloves of garlic, finely minced. We have a leek that's been finely sliced. I have half a cup of barley. In this bowl I've got 12 ounces of mushrooms, and we've got a combination here of crimini, portobello, and shiitake. You can use whatever mushrooms are available to you. This is what is available to us. Out of the jar we're going to grab 1 bay leaf. We're going to use 6 ounces of wine, white wine, for cooking. In the recipe that we've got posted on the website, and I think the way we ate this at the Pieminister restaurant, the vegetable in here, or one of the vegetables in here, was asparagus. As we're cooking this today, asparagus is not in season for us. So there's a couple of things you can use as an alternative, as a substitute. You can use broccoli. We're choosing today to use English peas, so I've got 10 ounces of English peas. Also, what's going to go in here, a tablespoon of mustard, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, half a teaspoon of thyme. We've got some fresh thyme that we've put into the little bowl. We'll use a half a teaspoon of salt, 1/8 a teaspoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of this Nutritional yeast. We'll use a tablespoon of lemon juice, and by the time we actually put this together, it's either going to come from this bottle, or we'll probably go outside and grab a lemon from the tree, because we've got those out there. And the last thing we're going to use is an egg. So this is all the ingredients ready to go. Next, we're going to put this together. All right, so we're going to start with heating about 2 tablespoons of oil in our pot. Then we're going to add our onions and garlic. We'll saute those until the onions are translucent. After which we're going to add the leeks and cook that for about 3 minutes. So the leek has been cooking for about 3 minutes. So our next step is that we're going to add barley and that's going to cook with this mixture for about 10 minutes, stirring frequently. Alright, our barley and leek has been cooking for almost 10 minutes here, so next we're going to add the mushrooms and a bay leaf. We're going to cook the mushrooms next for a few minutes. Alright, so the mushrooms have been cooking for a few minutes. Next we're going to add 6 ounces of white wine, and we'll let that simmer until the wine is nearly evaporated. Our wine is nearly evaporated, so next we're going to add 10 ounces of peas to the mixture. You can also use, instead of that, asparagus sliced in a julienne style, or some broccoli. And at this point, we're going to start adding the remaining spices and herbs. Adding 1 tablespoon of mustard. Next, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, or however you say it, Worcestershire. 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 Half a teaspoon of thyme. We have fresh thyme that we're going to use in here. You can also use dried thyme if that's what you have available. We'll add half a teaspoon of salt. 1/8 teaspoon of black pepper. Next we have a tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And last we're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice. And we're going to stir all that together and let that cook for a few more minutes. Alright, so once that's done cooking, we're going to take our bay leaf out and next move on to rolling out our pastry. Okay, so we've got our oven heating to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. We've rolled out half of the pastry dough on a lightly floured surface to as thin of a sheet as we could. And next, we're going to line the individual serving pie dishes. We've got some ramekins. Line those on the bottom and sides with a thin layer of the pie crust. Those are then going to go in the oven for about 10 minutes.
So don't take half the dough for the bottom part of the ramekin and roll it all out. Do individual size balls for each ramekin. And that way you've made a circle that you can just put into the ramekin instead of trying to cut it out. Because it just, you can't do that. And then you don't roll it as much either, so you're not overworking it.
Alright, so our next step is these are going to bake in the oven for 10 minutes unstuffed, and after they bake for a little bit, then we're going to fill them. Now we've rolled out the rest of our pastry dough with like chunks at a time, like a third at a time. We're making 3 pies and rolling out the thirds that are left. The remaining steps on our pie is we're going to put an egg wash on the top of each of the pies. We've lowered the temperature on the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and they will go in there for about 40 minutes, and then our mushroom pies will be done. And after 40 minutes, our pies are done. Mushroom pot pies, inspired by our visit to Pieminister in Cardiff, Wales. And with that, we're going to say thanks for tuning in again. If you like our videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, ding the bell. You know the drill. We appreciate your viewership, and bon appetit. This is one of the meals that we enjoyed when we were in Cardiff, Wales. All right, before we start assembling everything together, I've got Julie in the way.
I have to make
I know you do.
stuff.